What's up, everybody? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button to the Hoops Tonight YouTube channel, and then follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter so you guys don't miss any of our content over the course of this season. All right, let's talk some basketball. So let's start with the Dallas Mavericks. They are 3-0. They beat the Spurs and the Nets in their first two games. Crazy crunch time games, right, where Luka Doncic basically saved them down the stretch. But then they notched a really quality road win on the road versus the Memphis Grizzlies without Kyrie Irving, as they controlled the game throughout and went up double figures in the fourth quarter and basically won without any sort of stress involved, right? They're the number one offense in the league so far, 121.3 offensive rating. They're scoring 106 points per 100 half-court possessions, which is also the very best mark in the league. And it all starts with Luka Doncic. He's playing at a MVP level to start this season. 39 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists, 70% true shooting. His jump shot has been on fire. He's shooting 70% in effective field goal percentage on jumpers so far this season. A Luka Doncic jump shot is worth 1.4 points per possession right now, which is insane. You're seeing a lot of, again, like 75% effective field goal percentage on pull-up jump shots. He's 16 for 30 on his step-back three to start the season. You're seeing a lot of Luka beating switches, like in the Memphis game the other night. Like they kept switching Jaren Jackson or Xavier Tillman onto him in pick and roll, thinking like, oh, Luka's a bully ball player. We can switch this action and basically force Luka to try to back down players that are just as strong as him, right? Well, Luka's counter for that is the step-back three. And when he's hitting it in the low 30s, it's less than a point per possession. It's something that the opposing coach can live with. But when he's hitting it at 16 for 30 to start the season, it becomes untenable. And you saw it once again in that Grizzlies game, just step back three, step back three, step back three. We looked at the Brooklyn Nets game, step back three, step back three, step back three. That's becoming essentially his go-to move against switches, and he's just making it at an extremely high level. He's shooting 75% in the restricted area as well. His shot creation has been absolutely ridiculous. He is picking everybody apart for the amount of help that they offer wherever it is on the floor. In blitzes, he's able to just quickly step back and throw that two-hand over-the-top skip pass to the right guy. He had a really nice one against Memphis where he took that step back against the blitz and noticed the wide open player on the right wing and kind of looked at him to get Desmond Bane to kind of nudge up, and then he hit the roll man with the overhead pass that ended up getting swung to the corner for a wide open three. He's just got complete mastery of half-court offense at this point. The shot creation data is insane. He's averaging 1.14 points per pick and roll. In ISOs, and again, this is beating those switches that we talked about, 1.46 points per possession. Luka ISOs have led to 54 points, including passes so far this season. That's literally by far the most in the league. Here's how much. Second place is Tyrese Halliburton at 27 ISO points created. So Luka Doncic has twice as many isolation points that he has directly created either by his own shot making or off the pass, twice as much than the second most in the league. This is like unbelievable, unprecedented perimeter perimeter initiation that we're seeing out of Luka. 1.38 points per post up. All this is insane, right? But again, you got to have the off-ball production to make it all work. Derek Lively has been an excellent pick and roll lob threat for him. He's 4 for 5 from the field on roll man possessions. One of the early season kind of like big exciting things for Mavs fans. Again, like we talk about this, when you're in a situation where your payroll is tied up and you don't have flexibility to go out in free agency and pay for players, or have the ability to bring guys back because of their current salary, you know what I mean, at a decent fair number where you end up not losing them, right? One of the things you end up having to do in that situation is you have to hit on veteran minimum signings, because when you're over the cap and you don't have the ability to bring certain players back with bird rights, it pretty much comes down to mid-level exception, veteran minimum exception, biannual exception once every other year, right? Like, and then occasionally you can do something like they did with Grant Williams and make a sign-in trade, right? But you're limited in your ability to make these types of moves, and so hitting on veteran minimum signings is like an absolute must, right? And they've just had a lot of guys that have played really well for them that they didn't have to move mountains to get. Derek Jones Jr. started all 3 games. He's doing a really nice job of punishing nail help. Now, nail help, again, is like, just imagine you have a corner three-point shooter, 3-point shooter on the wing, right? And then you're having your guy come up and set a ball screen. Now, Derrick Jones Jr. is typically not a great shooter, right? But he's a very good athlete. And what a lot of teams have been doing is cutting and driving out of that weak side wing as opposed to shooting. And so they're putting athletes over there rather than putting them in the corner or in the dunker spot like you'd expect, right? And what's crazy is he's also making the above the break three as well. Now, what is nail help? If Luka's calling for that ball screen, right? Or if he's even on a switch attacking an ISO or just dribbling the ball down the floor and attacking his individual matchup. If he's on the right wing and Derrick Jones is on the left wing and Derrick Jones's defender sags down to basically where the free throw line is, where the nail is, he's taking away the left-handed drive from Luka Doncic, right? But that's a closeout opportunity that's basically gift wrapped for you, right? And now a lot of the reason why coaches will go that way is they'll think, an above the break 3-point shot is not going to be made at a high enough clip to really bother us, right? But Derrick Jones has done a really nice job of driving that as well. He's made the shot. He's 4 for 5 on above the break 3-point shots so far this season. Had a bunch of them. I think he made 3 of them against Memphis, if I remember correctly, which is funny because he's 0 for 5 from the corner. So he can't make a corner three to save his life, but he's making that wing 3-point shot a lot. But he's also slashing to the rim off of those possessions. He had 2 driving layups at the rim in the last game, attacking out of that slot. He's converting spot-up possessions at 1.27 points per possession, which is excellent. And he's also taking some of their primary point of attack assignments. So like hitting on the Derrick Jones signing, just something little like that can change the trajectory of a basketball team. Josh Green has been excellent. He's shooting the ball and attacking closeouts really well. He's like a real downhill rim pressure guy attacking closeouts, and you actually see the defense on his rip-throughs really react to him, and he's good at making that secondary read attacking closeouts. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been J.R. Smith-esque with some of his freelance offense. He's 8 for 14 on pull-up jump shots and 3 for 4 on pull-up threes. It's not really part of the offense when it's happening. It's kind of just like, that's why I say it reminds me of J.R. Smith, because like sometimes the ball just ends up in Tim Hardaway's hands and everyone just stands around and he goes one-on-one. And really, it's a great, when you have guys like that are bucket getters, it is actually a useful tool in the offense in bench groups as long as he's knocking shots down. And early in the season, he's knocking them down. Grant Williams has been another signing, again, now through the sign and trade, that has been a hit so far. 45% from 3 on 7 attempts per game. I think he's been a useful defensive player and a very good rebounder for them as well, which we're going to talk about in a minute. NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball is back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is celebrating with an unbeatable offer. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for throwing down $5 on the NBA. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. You'll start the season with an instant dub. And with DraftKings parlays, everyone's got a shot at an even bigger basketball win. String together multiple bets from the same game or build your parlay across multiple games for a shot at making your payday even sweeter. Basketball's more fun when you're in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code HOOPS. That's HOOPS. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code HOOPS. The crown is yours.
For a limited time, Verizon customers can get Netflix and NFL Plus for just $25 a month. It's called Plus Play. That's $120 in annual savings. Plus Play is a platform where Verizon customers can shop, manage, and save on the subscriptions that you already love, right? Like Netflix and NFL Plus. With NFL Plus Premium, you get access to live games on mobile, my fave, NFL Red Zone, NFL Network, and more. Just go to Verizon.com/plusplay. Verizon.com/plusplay to save on Netflix and NFL Plus today for a limited time only now. Limited time only.
The main area for opportunity in the Mavs offense, and again, like the Mavs are the best offense in the league, the best half-court offense in the league. Biggest area of opportunity is Kyrie Irving's got to get going. He's passed the ball really well. I thought Kyrie was excellent down the stretch in that Spurs game in particular, in the early fourth quarter, setting his teammates up for easy baskets. He's got good role chemistry with Dwight Powell, but he's just not making his jump shot right now. He's 5 for 21 on jump shots. And he's also missing at the rim. He's just 7 for 15 at the rim. So that'll push them to another level when he gets going at the same rate that Luka's going. But to be clear, like as bad as his individual scoring numbers have been, when Luka's off the floor and Kyrie's on the floor, the Mavs offense has been very good. So I don't view it as an issue. It's just something that can raise their ceiling in the big picture when he gets better. Again, the biggest question coming into the season was, could they defend and rebound at a high enough level to allow their offense to win games for them? And they've rebounded extremely well. They've grabbed 75% of available defensive rebounds. That's the 6th best mark in the league. After the Kyrie Irving trade last year, they were 20th in defensive rebound percentage. So they're rebounding much better than they did at the end of last season. Derek Lively has been great there, getting a lot of contested rebounds around the basket. Luka Doncic, and we're going to talk about this in general, he's way more engaged on the details compared to where he was last year. He's competing on the glass. He's closing out hard to the perimeter and funneling guys the way that he's supposed to. He's averaging 14 defensive rebounds per 100 possessions so far this season. That's 31% more than he averaged last year. So there's unquestionably been a higher level of commitment out of Luka. And then Grant Williams and Tim Hardaway have both really helped on the defensive glass. They're both really good with ball pursuit, and they're both physically equipped to handle NBA players crashing from the perimeter, which can be a problem for some other teams that don't have that type of physicality. Those two guys are combining to grab 12.7 defensive rebounds per 100 possessions. Josh Green is really the only guy on the roster who's not contributing in a big way on the glass right now. The Mavericks are allowing just 11.6 second chance points per 100 possessions, which is the 6th best mark in the league. On the defensive end of the floor, they're 18th in defensive rating. After the Kyrie Irving trade last year, they were 27th. So again, they went from being one of the very worst defense and rebounding teams at the end of last season to being a very good rebounding team and an average defensive team so far this season. And that's enough when your offense is as good as they are. They're 22nd in half-court defense. They're the 8th best team protecting the paint. Josh Green and Derek Jones have been doing a really good job of applying ball pressure and funneling guys to the rim. They're offering smart help at the rim, essentially prioritizing the paint in allowing three-point shots on the back end as a result. And again, like that's going to manifest in the three-point numbers, right? Like they're giving up the 26th. They're 26th in opponent three-pointers made per 100 possessions. They are 25th in opponent three-point percentage. So they're giving up a lot of threes and teams are making them, but that's like the one weak point. They're guarding the paint well. They're rebounding well. They're actually forcing a decent amount of turnovers. They're forcing 15.2 turnovers per 100 possessions. That's the 12th most in the NBA. So like, I like that approach. This is not a team that's going to be a top 10 defense. They're not physically capable of it. They don't have the players. They don't have the rim protection. They don't have the perimeter defense to be a top 10 defense. But what they can be is a team that makes your opposing stars uncomfortable, funnels you into their packed paint defense, and forces you to make good decisions and make shots on the back end, which can be a problem when on the other end of the floor, Luka's killing you and it slows down the rhythm of the game. It gets you in your head. We've talked about this with the Nuggets as well. Like I'm a big believer in like when you're making offense look easy, it gets in the head of the other team. And so like you put the onus on them to make the right decisions and to make those kick out passes. They're going to miss a lot of them. Grab the rebounds when they're there, right? And then when you have opportunities to force turnovers like you have, take advantage of that as well. So like I like the approach. That to me is the kind of area of opportunity for this team, is be like right in that 15 to 20 range on defense, be the best offense in the league, and be a great rebounding team. If you do those things, you have a puncher's chance to do some real damage in the playoffs. And again, like that was kind of why I put the Mavs. Everyone called me crazy when I said they had a 1% chance to win the title. And I consider them to be like the 9th or 10th best, like actual championship contender. And it's because you can't count out that high level offensive initiation if they can get enough rebounds and if they can get enough stops. We literally just saw that last year with the Denver Nuggets, even if it is a long shot.